Yeah, if it gets awkward, please.
Yeah, Autumn, pipe in with a question. But hey, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We certainly appreciate it. It's nice to see your faces. Congratulations on some new music. 4 years, 5 years? How long has it been officially?
God, I don't know, Dan. What do you think?
Not that long. That seems like way too long. Is that
Well,
true?
2018, right? The last time?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, man.
When you put it that way.
Yeah, I guess it's an album. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we put out some stuff, but they were pretty much like remakes of stuff off that album. You damn. Wow.
It has been a while. I mean, I'm sure you had plans that you were working on before the world went into a hellscape in 2020. So maybe you've been sitting on some of this stuff for a long time, right?
We have, but we also kind of simultaneously went through a kind of a metamorphosis, or at least I know for me personally, a lot changed in the last few years for me. For the rest of the guys as well, this was the first time we'd really had any kind of normalcy, like not being on the road, 200 to 300 days out of the year or whatever it was. So I think we had some kind of catching up to do with just having a normal life for a little bit, and family time, stuff like that. And then just even the sound of the band really changed in that time period. And the next album that we're about to put out is probably a lot heavier than we've ever done in the past.
Yeah, it's certainly from the couple songs that we've been lucky enough to hear, it certainly feels that way. And listen, we've been really lucky enough to be with you guys since kind of like the beginning of you becoming a national touring act. And you came in early on and performed acoustically for us. So I know you can kind of set up a studio if you need to set up a studio. So when it came into the production of this particular side of things, what was that like for you guys to put together new music? Were you doing it on your own? Were you setting things up?
Yeah, I actually ended up setting up almost 3 different studios throughout the course of that time, just because of personal stuff and my situation moving from one state to another. And so, yeah, there's been a lot that has happened in this time period. And we're a very DIY band, so we set up a lot of the stuff ourselves and do a lot of the recording and production ourselves. Which does unfortunately cause our albums to take longer because we really go down the rabbit hole with things. But we've really discovered a lot about ourselves in that process. The only frustrating learning curve, though, in this whole time period was working mobily. Like, we'd never really done that before. So sending each other files back and forth and, critiquing songs and doing notes over Google Chat, honestly, it's probably the most annoying record we've ever made. Like, I hated it, but I'm just glad it's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's right. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, I was just gonna elaborate on Johnny's point of how much writing on Zoom sucks. It's amazing how much the energy that is in another person physically being in a room, like how much that actually matters. I feel like, especially when you're talking about matters of the heart too, like songwriting. But it's cool that it's possible.
Yeah, it's like an awesome supplementary tool. I feel like going through COVID, we all learned how to make an album apart from each other, which I think is a really awesome skill that we can take into our future. But I think we want to get back to some of the bread and butter next album of just, secluding ourselves into a studio somewhere and just knocking it out.
Yeah, because so much of the sound is like our influence on each other. Well, never mind. That point's at mute. We wrote in the same room. But anyway, whatever.
Well, there is something intrinsic, I think, about Nothing More Music, and it's so, I guess it's spiritual in a way. It's just so virile, you know what I mean? There's just something almost primal about it, because when you transfer it to your live show, it's just kind of like something you aren't prepared for. And it's going to be interesting to see how you translate having to record an album in that way and then bringing it to life. I mean, in the video that you just put out, I mean, it's clear that emotion and just that vitality is still there, and it's kind of cool to see that transform into the same place, even though you did this in a different way.
Yeah, it is interesting to kind of see how it comes out the other side when you take some things away and you change the technology and you try to, you know, like you said, we're a very primal band. We try to get to kind of the primal roots of certain emotions and things that are universally human. And so when we perform live, there's a lot of that tapping into that primal side and just feeling it and trying to get other people to feel that. So yeah, it was a little tricky, this album, with that being said, and that being such a big part of what we do energetically, funneling that primal nature through a technological porthole has been interesting.
You know, you guys, speaking of live, are about to go on another trek for the first time in a while. Asking Alexandria, you guys are teaming up for a really cool tour. I'm excited about it. One of the things I love about you is your live show. I mean, you're artists, you're musicians, but you're also contraptioneers. You guys come up with stuff to put on the stage and mold stuff together and kind of incorporate it in your live show. Are there any new and cool kind of stage stuff we can expect from Nothing More this time around, Dan?
Yeah. I'm working on the biggest, baddest thing I've ever made. So it's hard to describe. It's a kinetic sculpture. It's made of drums, 24-inch kick drums. They're not actual drums. They're kind of these things I envisioned that have they each have a 3-foot drumstick on them so they can play themselves. But the whole structure, the drums make arms and they're all able to move independent from each other, and kind of the whole assembly will rotate and curl, and it'll be fully, you know, adorned in lights and all that. So yeah, I'm really hoping to, I think it's about 20 feet when it stretches out. So having 20 feet of moving structure on stage, I think will be pretty dynamic and pretty huge. So
do these come to you in dreams or nightmares, Dan, when you decide to put these together?
No, it's surely alien abduction. You know, it's like, oh, I spaced out for 10 minutes, and then when I came back, that was in my head with plans. But I started on it 2 years ago, and the carrot stayed right in front of me the whole time, and I just never stopped, and now we're at the tail end. So
I was going to say,
it's been a bit of a rough year for me thus far, with some personal things. So there is a small chance that it won't make it on this tour, but the next one for sure. So, but it is up and going.
I was going to say, are you ever afraid of those things becoming aware of themselves on stage and going all Terminator on you guys?
All the time.
Yeah, self-awareness is our biggest concern.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you guys, I know you have a busy year planned. You got a whole album in the can. It took a while to put it all together. You haven't really released any full details as to when this thing's coming out. You just know sometime this year. Is that about right?
Yeah. If it were up to us, we would drop it tomorrow. We're just so excited about it. It's been so long. We know everyone's been waiting, but as you know, in the modern era, in order to really get as much juice out of the lemon, you got to kind of spread out the release and drop some songs. So that's the plan. We're itching to get it out, though. I think it's going to be a lot for our fan base to chew on in a good way.
Yeah, we've got Turn It Up Like, and Tired of Winning, which is the new single. And so we've got a good peek, at least, of what's to come. And like you said, I mean, both songs are very aggressive. I imagine that it's going to be kind of similar throughout the rest, as you'd said, that's kind of what we can look forward to on the rest of that stuff when we finally get to hear it all.
Yeah, for the most part. This one was a little heavier, a little thicker, a little darker than I think our last few albums. And we kind of just, we've seen a lot of bands that we've grown up listening to that we enjoy, that over time they would get a little more poppy or mainstream. I've even seen a lot of rock bands now. When I hear rock radio, I hear so many pop elements getting put into rock, which, I'm all for. I love people experimenting with different genres and mixing things together, but we decided we'd go the other direction. When we see everyone going this way, we want to go this way. So Whereas most bands get a little more mainstream, we wanted to get heavier and darker and go even further back into our roots. And that's what we did.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys, you've been doing this long enough. You know exactly what you need to do and what you guys sound like. And I love how the band has kind of evolved over the last couple of years, and that obviously is continuing with the new music. I've said it before, rock is a better place with you guys in it. I'm so happy to have you back and give our fans that are nothing more fans than Boise a chance to hear some new music from you guys. And I know we're not on the Asking Alexandria Nothing More side of things, but I also know that you guys will make it through fairly soon, and we cannot wait to see it because you put on a fantastic show. So we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys as well. Looking forward to getting back.
Yeah, Boise.
Awesome. Appreciate the time, you guys. Thank you. Travel safe. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Good
guys.
chatting with you again.
Bye.
You bet.
Bye, y'all.